Hello, viewers. It's Sentai Michael from Screen Review, bringing you a new podcast from my channel called the Kikai Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breathe your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will have some adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will have adult language. If you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, if you're over 18, that means you're going to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, I'll say it again. If you're over 18, you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, with this everything out of the way, let's get into the latest episode of Zenkaiger. So basically, we see Gene talking to King Borka, and basically Gene has been playing a dangerous game, trying to execute his plan to been playing a dangerous game, trying to get rid of Professor Aizen, trying to get rid of Professor Aizen and turn it back in, and also trying to gain the Zenkaiger's trust by taking control of Stacy's body, and trying to take down the Zenkaiger as well. So basically, it seems like his plan is going well, because King Borka is thinking about getting rid of Colonel Bashin and Professor Aizen, because all their plans failed to take over Carter's world has failed. So basically, King Borka is really Gein's device, think about, maybe Gein's fine. I need to get rid of King Borka and Professor Aizen because they keep on failing me. And so basically, it seems like Gein has a power over King Borka. King Borka's robot bird has some very initiative powers over King Borka. So basically, he said that my lord, maybe I have an idea for the monsters, power this, for the monsters power, because King Borka was going to send a monster out anyway, and basically Gene suggested I have the perfect word for our latest monster's power. So anyway, meanwhile, we see Kikai and his brother and his sister Flynn and his two brothers Ricky and Curtin, outside, look like they're eating curry and whatnot, outdoors and whatnot. One of those little, those outdoor curry booths and shit like that. So anyway, we see Gown and Boom, coming by with groceries in their hand. They came to the grocery store and saw them and and say hi. So basically, oh, you guys eat curry. So basically, yeah. So basically, it turns out that the curry that they're eating, from the curry booth is, it's having a sale half price. So basically, Boom went to go get some half price curry. So anyway, out of nowhere, this new monster called the SD world, the SD monster showed up. So basically, as you guys know, when Kikai saw the SD on the monster's head, he was in shock. He was in shock because, as you guys forgot, or some of you don't know, Ricky and Cutterton, who were two Kaiser's brothers, who were turned into robots when they got cursed, when it got cursed and turned into robots when they visited the SD world. So basically, the reason why two Kaiser fighting the Trojan. All the Trojan monsters is to find the Trojan gear that had the SD word had the SD word contained in it. Had the SD word contained in it, and tried to destroy it, and basically set the SD word free. That way he can go back to the SD world and break the curse and turn his two brothers back into humans. So basically, Zops, aka Two Kaiser, is like, you know what? This is the moment I've been waiting for. So basically, he morphed up immediately and went into a super mode and started to really go at the monster hard. So basically, the monster. So basically, the monster in the foot soldiers, started to fight Two Kaiser. So basically, during the fight, the monster turned the people who were eating in the curry booth, turned the people in Kairoids that was eating near the curry booth into little robots, just like Vicky and Cutterton. So basically, the SD monster's power is to turn people and Kairoids into little robots, like Vicky and Cutterton got turned into little robots by the curse of the SD world. So anyway. So basically, Gal and Boom got turned into little robots with everybody else. So basically, Flint was still okay, and Two Kaiser was still okay. So basically, everything things were starting to starting not to go Two Kaiser's way until Kaido and Majin and Gal until Kaido, Yuan and Majin showed up and lend Two Kaiser a hand. So basically, even Flint started to fight, started to help Two Kaiser fight the monster and the bad guy. So basically, Flint doesn't have using her gun, but her gun is not powerful as the other Rangers' weapons. So basically, Flint was almost about to be turned into a little robot, into a small little robot. And that's when Two Kaiser used his morpher to save Frank from being turned into a little robot, but Dojo shrunk his morpher. So basically, Two Kaiser managed to save Flint from being turned into a robot by the SD monster, powers, but in the process, his morpher got shrunk. So anyway, the SD world, the SD world managed to turn Yuan and Majin into little small dolls, into little small robots as well, and he started to retreat. So anyway. So basically, Kaido used the power of the Diaries gear, and we see Die Green use his illusion powers, summon a copy of Die Green to use his illusion powers to help them escape from the SD world. So anyway, so basically, somewhere in a tunnel somewhere somewhere in a warehouse somewhere, which examining morpher, like that there's no way you can transform your transformation gear is too big for your morpher now that it is shrunk. So basically, two cars can't. I mean, Flint can't trans. I mean. Oh, sorry, a little tongue tied today. Blah, blah. Sorry. All right. So basically, which is having, Zox's morpher. So basically, your morpher still works, but since it's just his tiny like this, you can't use your regular Sentai your transformation gear to transform into two Geyser while your morpher is this small. So basically, and kind of like what you were real hellbound. You were real hellbound on destroying that monster. Why? And that's when Stacy showed out who he's being controlled by. Dean said that that's the SG word monster. So basically, let's just say I had a conversation with my boss about using the SD word using the SD word as the latest monster. So basically, seems like Stacy, Stacy, who's being controlled by Gene, told Kyle told Carter that the the SD world is your friend Zox is been looking for the SD world. Carter forgot that about the reason why he's fighting the chosen dynasty. He said that that the SD world, as Ricky and Cutterton got cursed when they visited the SD world and turned into robots. So basically, if you destroy the SD, so basically, I gave you a gift. So basically, by convincing my boss to make a monster with the power of the SD world. So basically, once you destroy the monster, the SD world will be free, and Zox can go, can travel to the SD world, and break the curse and turn his two brothers back into normal. So basically, like Zox was say thanks for putting this all in motion, but I still don't trust you. So anyway, Zox just said ran off. He was and told Fred and Ricky and Cutterton that you guys stay out of this. I want to handle the SD monster by myself. So basically, Carter was how are you gonna do that? You have to morpher. So basically, don't worry, I'm a pirate. Remember, I can still fight as well. I'm a pirate, and I'm the head of my family. So basically, I will find a way. So anyway, and he just left his tiny morpher with Flint, and basically Flint and her brothers, Cutterton and Ricky were were kind of was kind of disappointed that that Zox told him to stay behind while he did with the SD monster by himself. So anyway, Carter got a call that the SD world was turning every Kaiwood and every human into small little robots. So basically, he went to go gather all the people and all the Kaiwods that were turned into smaller robots. So basically, while he was doing that, once again he bumped into Two Kaiser, and bumped into Zox, aka Two Kaiser, and asked what you're trying to do is what you're trying to do is fight that monster without your powers. It's kind of suicide. You need some help. So basically, Zox is I'm the head of my family. So basically, I must do this task alone. Besides my father, my father was, my father, sacrificed his life trying to save me. So basically, it's my duty to make, it's my duty to make sure, it's my duty to sacrifice myself to, for my family by turning my brother, by turning my brother back into human by any means necessary. So basically, like, Kai was trying to convince, like, and Kai was like, I understand you want to turn your, you want your brothers to turn back and, turn back into human again, but you do need help to take down that monster. Nobody can do it alone. So basically, like, Doc is like, kind of took Kyle's words to heart, and but he went to but Doc continued looking for the SD monster. Meanwhile, aboard the clock, during the clock old battleship, Britt and Ricky and Cutting was like felt disappointed that they came all this far, they came all, they came that, like they felt like Zox should let them help them, but at the same time, he said he's the head of their family, they had to do what he says, but they was kind of conflicted that Zox is the head of their family, of their pirate family, but at the same time they do want to help her. So basically, Jewel and Maxine said that I know your brother's a good dude, but you guys know that he's going to need some help taking down that, taking down the SD monster. So basically, Flint, Cutterton, and Ricky, you guys are right. So basically, we should help, even we should help our brother Zox, even he doesn't want our help or not. So anyway, meanwhile, we finally see the SD monster causing some chaos, turning people and cyborgs into little robots. Somewhere in the city, and it started to rain, and Zox showed up with a gun and with a pirate gun and a pirate sword, and started to fight the SD monster in the foot soldiers by himself. So basically, Zox was holding his own against the SD monster while with those pirate weapons. But basically the SD monster and the Fortress started to overpower Zox, and basically Kaido showed up, along with the others, to help Zox take down the SD monster. Turns out that Ricky and Cutter King would use themselves as shields to block the SD monsters. The power. So basically, they couldn't, so the SD monster can turn anybody into a smaller robot. But the powers, but he couldn't really, by Ricky and Cutting using their bodies as shields, he couldn't turn them into little robots because they are little robots. So basically, their powers wouldn't work on Ricky. So the SD monster's powers wouldn't work on Ricky or Cutting. So basically, they're using their body as shields to block the SD monsters, transformation wave power. So anyway, basically Flint said that gave two Kaiser back his tiny morpher, and he said that since since you can't use your normal transformation gear, I made a small transformation gear you can use in your tiny morpher. So basically, Zactor was able to transform into two Kaiser with a small morpher, and basically using the power of Wiki to using the power of his O-Ranger form combined with Wiki, it was able to destroy the monster, and with a little help from Kaido and the other Zenkaiger, they were able to destroy the monster and take down the foot soldiers. Everybody was transformed back into normal, who were turned into everybody who was turned into little dolls by the SD world, by the SD monster, were turned back into normal. So basically, as usual, a foot soldier, this time a advanced, style of tongue tie today. So basically, a giant event foot soldier showed up, and and absorbed the power of the SD word gear and became a giant SD monster. So basically, like Kaido used the Zen Rio, the Zen Rio cannon, and combined into the Zenkai Ultrazord to take down the monster. So basically, the monster, with a little teamwork from Zox's, with a little help, with a little teamwork from Zox's, Kaido Zord, they was able to destroy the SD monster, and basically, the city was saved and whatnot. So anyway, but now with the SD world, the monster, so basically the giant SD monster was destroyed, and so it's the chosen gear that contained the SD world inside it, and now the SD world is free. Zox can travel to the SD world and reverse the curse that turned Wiki and Cunnington into little robots in the first place. So basically, Kaido and the others, along with Kaido's grandma, said goodbye to Zox, Split, Wiki, and Cunnington. They're about to go to the SD world to reverse the curse and turn Cunnington and Wiki back into humans. So basically, Kaido's mom gave them goodies to, for their trip and whatnot. So basically, Kaido said goodbye, Kaido and Zox had a goodbye and whatnot. So basically, Zox said that, don't worry, I will come back, I will come back eventually once my brothers are turned back into normal. So anyway, Zox told Kaido that you should not trust Stacy. I still don't trust Stacy, and you should not trust Stacy either. Before he said goodbye. So basically, Zox and his family said goodbye to Kaido and the others and his grandma, and basically, and Zox and his family flew away in the spaceship, and basically went to flew away in the spaceship and opened the portal to a different world. There, hoping that that will lead them to the free, open the portal, and hoping that portal will lead them to the SD world that is now free from the Trojan Dynasty Empire. So anyway, we see Stacy, who's still being controlled by Gin, had a Trojan gear that had the world that where Zox and his family come from. The pirate world that Zox and his family comes from, and he destroyed. And so basically, he used his morpher to destroy the gear and set the pirate world free. So basically, the whole reason he wanted to get rid of. Stacy said that everything is going to plan. Two characters now gone. So basically, the Rangers don't have So basically, the Zenkaigers won't be as powerful without two Kaiser helping them anymore. So basically, so the reason why Stacy set the pirate world free in the first place, so they figured once two Kaiser, turns his brothers, verse the curse of his brothers and sisters, and they found out that their world is also free now, they probably wouldn't come back to help Kaido and the other Zenkaigers to take down the Trojan dynasty empire. So basically, Gin's plan is starting to really unfold right now. So basically, he did all this to get rid of two Kaiser, and that way the Zenkaigers won't be, that way it'll make it easier for him to take down Kaido and the rest of the Zenkaigers. So anyway, the episode ended with Stacy, destroying the gear that contains, two Kaiser's world and freeing the pirate world by destroying the gear that contained the pirate world and whatnot. And basically, that's how the episode ended. So anyway, like always, to Cynthia Michaels, 3 sign off. 1.